All right, more Kingdom Cup. Got a few different opponents for this one. I think a total of like 8 battles here. So starting off, Frostlass versus Melmetal. I don't like this because of the Rock Slide that's going to come. So Flygon doesn't care too much about the Rock Slide, nor does he really care about the Thunderbolt, which is probably on there. But the Lapras, he cares all about the Lapras. Hoping he's thinking Dragon Claw. He's clever. He knew Earthquake was coming, so he shielded there. Frostlass back out to try and dump some Shadow Balls onto this guy, but he's going to get the Surf off first. I'm going to get a Shadow Ball. I think he's going to shield again, or it's a second one he shields. So Shadow Ball does a decent amount of damage. He's going to get to another Surf. I'm going to take it. I can only take one Surf. If I was to take both, I'd be dead. So get another Shadow Ball off, and he... no, he doesn't shield it. Okay, so Melmetal back in with the Rock Slide is probably what's going to happen. Avalanche to get a little bit of chip damage. Okay, so he does shield that. That's nice. Maybe he was thinking Shadow Ball. So now we're kind of even on the... or at least on the shield wise, I'm looking a little good. But the problem here is I can't really take out this Melmetal with my Altaria. Skytech really does nothing. He's going to get a Rock Slide off. It's going to hurt a lot. And then whatever he brings in next is going to just, go to town on me, which is, a Lucario. Actually, I could win this, potentially, but he's going to get to that power-up punch, and it's just barely going to be enough. If I had, maybe a little bit extra health, I could have won that one, but well played on his part. So going into the second match here, same opponent, Frostlass open again. Now it's a Lapras, so kind of what I had seen in that first one here. I'm going to keep him in and try and just, out damage it with the Shadow Balls, but he's getting to Surf first, and like I said in the last one, if I take another Surf, I'm done for. So he'll take the one Shadow Ball. I'll block this Surf, so I can try and get off my next Shadow Ball, but then, shield for shield. I burn a shield, he's going to burn a shield to keep that Lapras alive, so, Surf is going to come before I can get to my next Shadow Ball. I'm not going to bother shielding. Bring in Lucario to finish this guy off. I'm wondering what he's going to have him back here. Altaria. So I keep it in. I'm still failing. I don't have that Shadow Ball. I need to get me that Shadow Ball that could have, done some work here. Instead, here I am power punching. Maybe he thinks I might have had Shadow Ball, but just trying to keep his Altaria healthy there. I almost get it down. No, I actually do get it down. That's what's surprising about Lucario. It can deal some damage. Now Melmetal's got to come in, and he dies. So if you are not careful, that Lucario can work. I had a sliver of health left, and that's all I needed to take out almost a full Melmetal. So Lucario very strong. Another good open here, but he's going to switch into Alolan Marowak, and I failed. That was a big fail here. I should have switched into my Flygon. Not sure why I switched into a Frostlass. That's kind of weird for me, but, you learn. So that one cost me the game here because he's able to kind of spam this Bone Club off, which, can do a lot of chip damage. I'll get to the Shadow Ball. He shields, so he can take care of this Frostlass, no problem. And now we're both out shields, and he's going to have the advantage here. So I have an issue there, but he shields, so I'm able to shield right back. So that Switch Bug could have, really hurt, but he ends up winning this one anyway, so it didn't really matter in the end. My Lucario is able to get off this Power-Up Punch, but the back matchup is not at all favorable. So, I very well could have won this. I think here I really should have just gone for the Earthquake. I was thinking maybe double Dragon Claw, which I almost got, but I maybe should have just forced off that Earthquake if I could get to it. But he did a good job again. So new opponent, playing a couple here. Starting off Frostlass versus Flygon. So really good open for me, definitely. So he's going to switch. I'm going to switch as well. You switch into a Bastiodon, it's trouble, especially if they've got Lucario in back. And most people are going to have Lucario, so I'm just going to shield this Flamethrower to keep my Lucario healthy and let him go to town. This is where a nice, fresh Lucario can take an entire team. I was thinking Dragon Claw there, but that Earthquake charged up pretty fast, so he was able to take out my Lucario. And, even with the one shield, I'm going to get to my next Avalanche before he can do anything. So Avalanche basically one-shots, and that's going to be that. So going into another one here, I think I'm leading with Lucario this time. No, Altaria. Altaria is always a good lead. Especially against a Flygon, that's definitely huge. He switches to Bastion again, but again, we talked about this afterwards. It's like it's usually a mistake switching, especially if you know your opponent has a Lucario in back, which I've been running most of my battles. If I know someone is bringing Bastion and Lucario, maybe I'll switch out my Lucario for a Charizard to counter, but you need something to take care of that Bastion, and if it's not Lucario, it's probably going to be Flygon. So another example here of how the Lucario can really just wear out a team. I mean, he did almost all that Charizard's health. Altaria comes in and just Dragon Breaths away once this lag goes away. So Lucario is something, as I've said a bunch, you have to be ready for it. Some people I've noticed like the Lucario v Lucario matchup, you get rid of the Bastion counter right away, and if they don't have a Flygon in back, then your Bastion can get free range. So that's why if I know someone's bringing Bastion and Lucario, I want to either keep my Lucario away from the mirror match or maybe bring a Charizard to take Lucario out. So, interesting one, Frostlass v Frostlass. He gets to the quick move first. So, I think this is just going to be all about us burning all the shields up front on these Frostlass, trying to win that front battle. He gets off the speed tie again. I'm going to shield, try and get the Shadow Ball, see if he's going to shield. He does that as well. So now we're both out shields, and I try and pull some sneakiness. I switch into Bastion real fast, trying to get this down and get as much energy as I can, thinking if he switches to Lucario, he doesn't have a shield. That Flamethrower is going to take it out. He didn't have Lucario, so that ended up not being the strategy I needed. He had the Flygon as the counter, so Flygon does a little bit better in terms of taking damage against a Bastion. So now I'm just going to put in Lucario. I got to worry about Earthquake, which, yeah, he got to Earthquake there, so that really cost me the match. His final matchup is really good against the Frostlass, but that Shadow Ball, it did some work, and I think it just barely doesn't take me out here. So Shadow Ball against the Alolan Marowak, almost all the health, and that allowed me to just barely pull out that one there. Going into the final match of the video, I believe, maybe there's two more, but Bastion v Bastion. I've seen this one before, and like I said, it's whoever pulls the switch first, so I don't think either of us switch right away. So it's Flamethrower v Flamethrowers. I got the speed tie here, but now he does switch into Flygon, so I have to find some way of dealing with this. Lucario seems to be the answer. Earthquake coming, I gotta shield that for sure. Just try and punch this Flygon down as fast as I can, get rid of the counter to both Lucario and Bastion, but I gotta blow double shields there to make sure I keep this guy alive. So he still has a shield left. And he's able to kill my Bastion counter there, so I need to bring in my other one, Flygon. So that's the danger about using Lucario as a Lucario counter. Then you don't have your counter for Bastion. So in this case, I definitely needed both Lucario and Flygon. So he pulls a switch, I pull into Bastion, which is really going to take care of the Alolan Marowak, no problem. And then I believe, what does he got? The Bastion in back. I believe I get to another Flamethrower and finish him off with that. So another good match there. And yeah, we got one more match in this video. So this one I'm leading off with an Altaria. Altaria is always a good lead. Most people don't start with Bastion. You can, because a lot of people don't like to start Lucario, so if you start Bastion, they'll have to switch to Lucario, meaning you can switch out. So Altaria usually is a safe lead because a lot of people don't like to start with Bastion. Sometimes, as you see, you'll get that Bastion v Bastion mirror match predicting that the other person's going to have Altaria. So this one here, I had to burn both shields to stay alive there. I'm switching out as fast as I can because Altaria is almost dead, but it has a decent amount saved up, and that ends up working out for me in the end with that saved up charged attack. So Dragon Clawing down this Alolan Marowak before he can do any damage to me. He's going to get the Bone Club off. Doesn't do that much, so I'm just going to try and get this guy down. But Bone Club charges up fast, so I couldn't even get to Dragon Claw on my Flygon, one of the faster charging moves here. So I'm going to throw in a Lucario. Thought I could finish it off, but that Ghost Resistance is really hurting. So he's tossing in Flygon, but he doesn't have any shields left, so the Power Punch is going to get to go to work here. And because he was forced to use that Dragon Claw, he's got no energy saved up. Altaria comes in, is able to Sky Attack for the win. So that saved up energy is always a good strategy. You want to maybe practice that for your next tournament. It's always a good strat. So thanks.